Hi everyone, I'm Lindsey McKinzie, technical agronomist with Channel here in Southern Illinois, and I just wanted to cover a pretty hot topic that we've been seeing in the field lately. And a lot of us are driving by fields and we're seeing these yellow patches appear out in the field. So, we pull over, we stop and take a look, and if we get an up close look, it's going to be the interveinal chlorosis and necrosis of the leaves. And so I just wanted to do a deep dive into a few things that we could be looking at. So I know typically whenever we see these symptoms, our first reaction is, I have SDS. So that's very possible, but there are a couple other options that it could be. So I just wanted to take a minute and walk through and how we do a field diagnosis for the diseases and the dapple effect. So if we're going to look at the dapple effect, I'm going to ask a few questions. The first one is going to be, when did you spray? So typically with the dapple effect or the triazole toxicity, we're going to see those symptoms start to appear anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks after that fungicide application, and those symptoms will be amplified in droughty conditions like we have been having in areas across the countryside. So like I said, my first question is, when did you spray? My second question is going to be, what did you spray? The dapple effect or triazole toxicity is going to be from the group 3 fungicides, which are the triazoles. And so I have the frac chart on this slide to show you, they're within the triazole group, there are many active ingredients that it could be. And so if you're seeing that dapple effect in your field and you did spray a triazole, go ahead and look on that fungicide jug and see if any ingredients in that were a group 3 fungicide. And I have the actives listed in that chart. Also, we're going to typically see the symptoms only in the top part of the canopy where that fungicide is applied. So those are, like I said, first question I'm going to ask, when did you spray? What did you spray? And if we have a hot, droughty condition, that would also be another thing I would want to know. Now, getting into the diseases, and there could be a couple of what it could be. So the first one, like I said earlier, what we typically think of is SDS. So we see that interveinal chlorosis and necrosis, which is an above ground giveaway that something is going on. Now, brown stem rot or BSR can have the same above ground symptoms. So the next step would be to dig some roots and see if we can't see a difference in the stems. Now, with SDS, what we're going to see is the stem being brown or discolored, and also the roots will be rotted. And so if we compare that to BSR, the pith in the stem will be brown. And so those are the giveaways and the difference between SDS and BSR. Like I said, SDS is going to be the stem. In BSR, it's going to be the pith. Also with SDS, in very severe cases, if there is a severe infestation of the pathogen, we can see blue sporulation on the roots when we go to dig those roots. So that would be another thing to look for whenever you're out digging plants, trying to diagnose what you might have going on in your field. So to line the 3 up side by side, those above ground symptoms, the interveinal chlorosis and necrosis, we're going to see that with BSR, SDS, and the dapple effect. So again, we're going to want to dig those plants, we're going to split stems and see if we can't see a difference in those between the 3. So with the dapple effect, we're going to have a healthy stem. With BSR, we're going to have that brown discolored pith, and then SDS, it's going to be the lower stem closer to the soil line. One thing I wanted to add also with SDS is, typically we're going to see those symptoms start in the lower canopy and they're going to gradually work their way up throughout the season. And with the dapple effect, we're going to see it in the upper canopy where that fungicide was applied. And also, one thing I want to note, whenever we're out scouting and we see it in patches and not streaks, that would be another indication of a disease. Diseases we typically see are in patches or scattered throughout the field. They really don't have a specific pattern. Now, on fungicide applications, we can see the streaks maybe where we had some overlap closer to the edge of the field on the headlands where maybe our booms didn't get shut off in time. Because if we do have an increased amount of product put on those plants, there is a greater possibility of seeing those above ground symptoms. So if you have any questions or need help with a field diagnosis, please reach out to your channel seedsman, FSR, or agronomist. Thanks.